Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming today. My name is Takeshi Kondo. I'm an SRE at Quipper, an edtech company. I'm working in Japan, and it's the first time for me to come to Singapore. I was looking forward to SREcon. And in fact, it's the first time for me to give a presentation in English. Everyone has experienced such a challenging situation. For example, a new company, a new position, new technology. Today, I will talk about onboarding, a process to help those who take on such challenges. First, let me explain the background to why I choose this topic. I joined Quipper last year, but it took me half a year to get to a stage where I was able to work on my own. I expected 3 months, so 6 months were too long. There are several reasons for this. I thought there were two perspectives. One is the team side. And since the Quipper SRE team started up, there was almost no replacement of members. Therefore, onboarding was not needed. In my case, I was simply assigned a task and did it. Of course, I was taught through review. However, it took me half a year for me to work independently. Next is my side. This is a painful thing to remember for me. There were two problems on my side. One is the technical challenges. My previous job was to provide IaaS as a cloud provider. Also, my job was not SRE, but software engineer. So there were a lot of new skills to learn. Precisely, we needed to catch up AWS, Terraform, NGINX, Kubernetes, and service operations issues such as monitoring and performance were also new to me. So working as a Quipper SRE was a big challenge to me. The other one is my mental problem. As with many new joiners, I wanted to contribute to the team early. However, as I said, because of the technical gap, it was not easy to produce results. I was anxious about not being able to produce results, and that anxiety throws my work. Thus, I was in a negative loop this time. I also failed a lot. I felt fear to do anything. The more I thought I wanted to gain a result, I felt more uneasy. As a result, it took a lot of time. So let me talk about why I try to do onboarding to others. The next SRE joined just when I got out of pain. I could not decide at first what to do onboarding. I thought that it took me a long time to work well because I was immature as an engineer. But my colleague, web developer, said onboarding works effectively even for senior engineers. So I decided to carry it out. I thought that I could contribute to the team as a result of my pain. In fact, the next SRE was a senior SRE. Surprisingly, with my onboarding process, he got to work by himself in just 2 months. Again, the definition of what onboarding is finished is to be able to work independently. In summary, what I've achieved is that the onboarding that I took 6 months, but the next SRE has completed in just 2 months. Okay, I talked about the background of why I did onboarding. Then let's get into the main subject. Here is the outline of my presentation. First, I will talk about what is onboarding. Then I will talk about how to start onboarding. This is the main topic. Next, I will share a topic to apply beyond SRE. Lastly, I will talk about the takeaways of my presentation. Let me move on to the next topic. What is onboarding? Before explaining what onboarding is, let's define what it is not. Onboarding is not an account creation, nor just assigning tasks. In my case, I just created my account and did the assigned task. Not so, onboarding is a mechanism. The reason for doing this is the early strengths of new joiners. New joiners pass hiring interviews and coding exams. Therefore, they have the potential to be working in the organization. However, not only the technology used, but also the culture and products differ depending on the organization. Therefore, it is very important that even senior engineers fill in this gap. They need a learning mechanism to know what they need faster and more effectively. What did I need to do when I joined Quipper? In other words, how did I solve the problem? I had the following issue when I joined Quipper. As I said before, there were technical gap and a mental problem on my side. These affect each other. In my situation, technical gap and anxiety create less outcome. The ideal situation is to fill the technical gap through work in a state of psychological safety. From my experience, the key to useful onboarding is to reduce anxiety and narrow the scope of thinking. For example, new joiners usually want to be motivated and activated quickly. Of course, I did. However, new joiners will probably not know what to know and what to learn. By creating a learning plan through the onboarding process, they can understand them. By doing so, they can be kept highly motivated. By narrowing the scope of thinking, it is clear what they should focus on. This will also help to reduce their anxiety. Next, let me move on to the main topic in this presentation, how to start onboarding. This topic will introduce 3 steps. First, I will talk about define the goal. Let's ask 3 simple questions to define the goal. And 3 questions to set the goal are here. What is your team's mission? What is your team's responsibility? What is your team's daily work? Why are these questions right? We all have responsibility to achieve the team's mission. To achieve team's missions, we have the daily task at hand. And onboarding is the process to make these daily tasks possible. With clear mission and responsibility, new joiners can make decisions independently. They can reduce anxiety. And daily work should be a goal for onboarding. This is the case for the Quipper SRE. As with many companies, our SRE mission is to make it reliable and stable our services. And we SRE are responsible for proactive approach for stability, fixes server instability and failure, and response to SRE mention. Also, our daily work basically includes change an infrastructure with code, react on alert, review pull requests, and take long-term tasks. Again, the goal of onboarding is to be able to do these tasks by themselves. Next, let me move on to design the learning experience. Once the goal is decided, break it up into concrete learning plans. This is also necessary to narrow the scope of thinking. This is a quote from the SRE first book in the context of on-call education. It tells the importance of designing a concrete learning experience. I use this as reference for onboarding. How should they learn to achieve the goal? This is quite different depending on the team. This is the case for Quipper SRE. Basically, for the goal, create a running plan one by one and support them. First is preparation. After setting up their laptop and registering their account, I have created a checklist of what they will need. For example, smooth switching of AWS account, the connection to the Gate server, and the connection to the Kubernetes cluster. And it covers the necessary prerequisite for our daily operations. Furthermore, I wrote a document that includes the scope covered by the Quipper SRE. I used this document to explain the whole. By doing this, they will be able to understand where the task in front of them is located throughout. Next, they do small infrastructure change tasks. By doing this task, they can learn the mechanics and rules of deploy. These are done in pairs. For example, this is a pull request that does a simple redirect configuration to reverse proxy. Through this work, she learns that pull request will be reviewed and managed by team members. Also, in Quipper, it is released by merging into a specified named branch. They learn how actually to deploy such a deployment mechanism in pairs. In Quipper, the time it takes for a new joiner to merge meaningful pull requests is called FMPRT, first meaningful pull request time. The shorter the FMPRT, the better we are ready for onboarding. Review and merge pull requests will be very difficult at first for them. Therefore, I explained the viewpoint of the pull request and reviewed with a pair. For example, I commented on the essential point in the changes in my pull request and explained it directly. After convinced of the change, I received LGTM. Alert and monitoring will be quite important for SRE. I explained what kind of alert and what action to do. At this time, the alert policy was not clarified, so I described the policy of alert and how to set it in the document. The alert policy will probably vary widely from one organization to another. Therefore, it is essential to explain the way of thinking and setting. The last is a long-term task. These are things that lead to improvements in developer productivity. In fact, he upgraded the Kubernetes cluster. It took time, but it was a good opportunity for them to understand the essential component. In this way, I made a plan to run for the goal and supported them. This is the last topic, review through one-on-one. Most importantly, at least once a week, we met to see how we reached their goal and to remove barriers. In one-on-one, once a week, I asked 3 questions. What did you do recently? What are your plans for the next week? Are you in any trouble? Even in situations where we can talk at any time, it is important to have time to do so. In fact, I worked every day at his next seat, but thanks to the schedule, we are able to do these things certainly. Through this process, check how close they are to the goal. Let me move on to the next topic to apply beyond SRE. My onboarding efforts are spreading to other things. Please let me share about it. As you have heard, the way I have done so far is not unique to SRE, so it can also be used for teams other than SRE. After my work, the onboarding work started in the web developer team. I also joined together. They are making continuous improvements while referring to my work. And here is the purpose of onboarding that they thought of. Remove the fear of new joiner. Make a fixed task efficient. Improve continuously. I also gave some advice, and they defined it. They use GitHub issue templates and make them continuously available for improvement. Also, in addition to the risks that new joiner does, there are other risks that the mentor does in advance. For example, inviting a Slack channel and creating an account. Furthermore, from this template, the influence is extended to other product teams. Their remarkable point is to greet people of the same office who are related to absorb domain knowledge. Of course, they also talk to us SRE. It's a great initiative. He is also making improvements during onboarding and making improvements in excellent cycle. His team has made onboarding their final requirement to finish fixing these outdated documents and tools that don't work. As with other SRE practices, it is spreading to other teams by organizing and standardizing ideas to some extent. I think it was excellent to start this effort. The other day, I created a Slack channel for onboarding. We will continue to exchange onboarding knowledge across the team. The last topic is takeaways. This time, from my bitter experience, I have talked about how I established the onboarding process. The key point is onboarding is to reduce anxiety of the new joiner and to narrow the scope of thinking. To start onboarding, let's do the following 3 steps. Let's define the goal of clarifying mission, responsibility, and daily work. Design concrete learning experience to achieve their goal. Check how close they are to the goal and do one-on-one to get rid of the trouble. From such simple questions, you can start onboarding. As with many SRE practices, let's use this approach to help new joiners work independently. If you have questions, please ask me on Twitter or email, and I will answer it later. Today, it has been a year since I became SRE. As an SRE, I'm happy to be able to talk here. Thank you.